Hi, Village
Hello.
Girl. I'm with my cousin Christine, who is another village
Hey.
girl. So I wanted to talk to Christine because she grew up with our grandparents. We visited, my family visited my grandparents during the summer times or at Christmas time, and Christine was there. Like, that's
All
when I
the
saw
time.
you. You were always
Yeah.
there, and that's Christine was at Mom and Pa's house. So I chose the name Village Girl because I'm living at the village, but I'm not the only one. I'm one of so many, and so I'm talking to Christine.
Happy to be here.
So, what does a village girl mean to you?
It basically means keeping in touch with my roots and knowing where I come from, even if I'm not there anymore all the time. It's still nice to know that there's always a place that I can call home, and it's a place that I know where I belong no matter what. And that's what it means to me.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
take it with you wherever you go. You have it here
Yeah.
in town. And that's, do you think some people who like didn't have that can still have that? You know, like how
Oh,
can we
yeah.
find it? Like living in the city, you know, like
I think that everybody, even if you're First Nations or not, have that ability to, have a place that you can just connect with that's your home,
Yeah.
And, like, I've lived in both, like, worlds, right? And I've known a lot of people who have actually lost a lot of their culture and they have no idea where they come from. And, it's sad. It's sad when they're just lost, and you can just see it when you talk to them, too,
How does
that
it
they're
happen?
lost. Well, there's actually one group of First Nations that I've gone to school with who they don't know their family history, they don't know anything. And a lot of it has to do with they have not had that opportunity to learn like we have. Like, we've always had aunties, uncles, ma and pa telling us
yeah,
where we're from,
Yeah.
and all that. And it's heartbreaking. So I think it would be nice if, people who know where they come from would have the opportunity to show them,
right.
Because a lot of them, they really do want to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I hear that, and I think that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
I want to build a community. But you don't even need that. It's just getting back into the community living that we've left.
Yeah.
Right? Like we've all kind of separated. Like
Mhm.
it happens. And then you just have to find a way back to, people from the community and just learn from each other and talk to
That's
each other
true, like,
and talk
yeah.
to the elders and just start doing it yourself if you have an interest in it.
Yeah, that's the big thing too, is like, because I've noticed like some of them do want to know where they're from, and then others just can't be bothered, and
Yeah.
they just tend to get angry if you try to push it on
Yeah.
them.
Right.
So I think a big thing that's needed is you have to actually want to know where you come from.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the things I noticed in school too was there's a lot of, like, I know it's not the most friendly term, but there's a lot of colonization mentality. Like, there's a lot of, oh, they did this, they did that, And then there's a lot of, at the same time, with, other people, there's a lot of, oh, get over it. We are over it. Doesn't mean we're going to forget it,
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it's like, a lot of the time too, a lot of the, like, kids that I mentioned that don't know anything, most of them are kind of what I would say are victims of colonization. They were just,
Yeah.
they had no opportunities to learn about where they're from, and
No interest.
no interest. Yeah.
Yeah. You can go like one way or another. You could like, and that's a thing that I've been looking into too. You can totally go off by yourself
Yeah.
in society, or you can go and you can like, or you can just stay where we are, because right now where we are, we're kind of just like floating around. Or you could go like totally like south, money. Like I think where we're going, we're kind of just like, we grew up in this like kind of crazy time, everything is breaking off. Or you can, like, what very few people are doing is kind of go off and kind of like grow together again, you know, get together and learn together. But we just don't know what to do, right? We don't know.
Yeah, well, I don't understand a lot of, like, the way that people do things nowadays. Like, when I was living, you know, up at the village, we were always taught to, you know, respect each other and respect ourselves, and it's a lost habit lately. I remember one of the lessons that I was always taught with Ma and Pa was, you know, if you see an elder that doesn't have a chair, you get your butt up and you let them sit down. And lately I see all these young people, they can't be bothered to have any respect for their elders, you know. And it's sad, because this is the generation that's going to be taking care of us in the future.
Right.
And that's sad.
What happened? And, like, I don't know, I wonder, I think we can fix it.
Yeah. No, I remember one of the things that I always learned when I was living up with Ma and Pa was, if you're going to do something, you do it right the first time, or just don't do it.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no time for it. Yeah.
There's
just
like,
do it right. Go do it. Work hard and get it done.
Yeah.
And then we'll move on to something, the next thing.
Yeah. And that's a good way to think about how to repair the gaps in our culture too, right? Like, you know, if we all just, you know, stop saying this and this and that, and just concentrate on focusing our effort into fixing the gaps in our culture.
That's right.
Don't focus on the problem, focus on the solution.
And that's a big thing for, like, that's what I've been doing, is where can you start other than yourself?
Yes.
Right?
That is true.
Number one thing, if you can start with yourself and your own thoughts and, like, become a better person. And it's such a big thing, like, and I feel like there's nothing bigger that we can work on every day. Like, we can't change the world.
That is true.
But we can start changing ourselves and start talking to the people in our circles. Yeah. And just, you know, start so small.
Yeah. And I think a big factor too is listening. Like, it's wonderful to, you know, speak out and everything, but I think a good factor that is needed is to listen, because if you don't listen, then, you know, nothing really gets, trying to figure out how to put it. It doesn't fix anything. It doesn't change anything if everybody's
just talking.
Because I know with having siblings, when we're talk at the same time to each other,
nothing happens.
It doesn't work. But me being the oldest, if I take the time to listen to what my little brother has to say, then I have the knowledge needed to respond to his, you know, needs too, and then that gives him a chance to, you know, help me out with what I need from him. Yeah. There we go. That's what I was trying to get.
Yeah. Something so simple, right?
Yeah.
But it's not.
Yeah.
And how do you do that on, like, the big scale?
Well, on the big scale, I basically grew up in a horrible, like, situation for a lot of the time. That wasn't with Mom and Pa, but when, like, you know, I had a pretty abusive situation, and that made me pretty hard on trusting anybody at all. I wouldn't communicate with anybody. I wouldn't even associate with anybody. I was by myself all the time. And, well, that being said, I've tried to make myself remember that not everybody is out to get me, and you can only work on things that you can control. If something's out of my control, I just let it go. You know, it's like, can't control it. Well, that's that. But what can I control is what I started asking myself. So, I started taking the steps to try to heal myself, and, you know,
When did you start doing that? When, like, consciously, like...
Consciously, I didn't start until later in my, like, maybe late teens, early 20s. I started consciously realizing, you know what? I can control the situation. I do not need to be in this situation. So I made a conscious decision to remove myself from the situation. And, you know, that just, it took a big weight off of my back, you know? And I'm still finding myself trying to heal. Like, it's going to be a long process. I understand that, but yeah. Sometimes you just gotta do for you before you can do for other people.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I think we both agree that a big thing we've learned, and you more specifically, because you really grew up in the village kind of world, and especially with Ma and Pa, like really have had a big part raising you, that you can take all of that knowledge and bring it into this world.
Yeah.
Like out here, and I mean, it's something you never lose, and we just have to remember to tap into it and not forget it. And this is why I wanted to talk to my cousin Christine. Thank you.
Of course.
Awesome. Cool.
Cool.
So thank you for sitting and talking with me.
Thanks for having
And
me.
we'll definitely have to do it again
Awesome.
sometime later down the road. And okay, thank you. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Village Girl out.